it's me again. How's it going? This is the second of 3 films about making your film poem. In this one, I'm going to look at the visual element, the imagery, how it can enrich or disrupt the text of the poem. By now, you should have chosen your poem, or at least have an idea of what you want to work with. Let's remind ourselves of the suggested themes. Identity of Southampton and the South, relationships with the sea, journeys and migrations, a celebration of the people of the world, and Southampton as a gateway to the world. If you've decided you're going to film yourself performing your poem, great. Think about lighting, background, the visual context you'll be communicating. This is me washing my face. It's one of 6 short films I made at the beginning of lockdown, in which I closely analyse a book of poetry while washing, moisturising and applying makeup to my face. Not a film poem, but similar. It's not a slick production. It's filmed on my phone. I put a slightly crumpled sheet behind me. It might look like it took me 5 minutes, but it's carefully made to mimic the skincare tutorials I've been watching on Instagram. I chose to present it like this to add visual texture to the essays I'm performing, which explore loneliness, isolation, and the internet. Think about what would suit your poem. Does it need to look professional? Should it be outside, inside, performed while on the move? What are you wearing? How much of you can we see? Work with what you have. Check it all looks right, try different angles, lighting, backgrounds, until it feels like a good fit for the poem. If you're pairing the text or audio with imagery, think about the images that are implicit within. The poem might be about sea or travel, so there are obvious images to work with, crashing waves, roads, planes, ships, suitcases, etc. But think also around it. What is the atmosphere of your poem? Is there any way you could communicate that via an image that might be more arresting or intriguing? Maybe your poem about travel uses a piece of film that goes nowhere, but still has the atmosphere and visual language of a journey. This is a train station in France. I know there's not much travel at the moment, but maybe you have a video saved that you took years ago that is unrelated to the poem yet speaks to it somehow. Maybe there's something outside your bedroom window that, isolated from the rest of the view, takes on additional meaning. To show you how different images can change a poem, here's a recording of T.S. Eliot reading the first few lines of The Wasteland. This is what happens when I use stock imagery to illustrate each line.
April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain.
Some of the meaning carries, but it's a bit boring, reductive. The images are serving the text rather than enhancing it. Here's the same thing, but with some images filmed through windows.
April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire.
Not perfect, but to me that's more affecting. It also makes it feel like a kind of lockdown poem. As well as the text of the poem, you can play with images of text. Maybe it's a few words from the poem, maybe they're unrelated. Be careful of confusing the poem with too much information. For example,
April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land.
the imagery is interesting, but it's difficult to focus. You could experiment with using just one word so that it becomes symbolic and is easier to grasp. For example,
April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land.
the style of your poem and how easy it is to communicate will dictate how much visual information it can carry. Here's an extract of Gertrude Stein reading her poem If I Had Told Him, a completed portrait of Picasso, with some found footage of shadowy men and animals.
If I told him, would he like it? Would he like it if I told him? Would he like it? Would Napoleon? Would Napoleon? Would he like it? If Napoleon, if I told him, if I told him, if Napoleon, would he like it if I told him, if I told him, if Napoleon?
The poem is more experimental. It relies on sound and the breakdown of language to create, if not meaning, then a sense of meaning. So it can take more movement, more complex imagery. For example, if we play the footage of the men forwards, backwards, sped up, and even overlay the text from before, the general sense of the poem will carry through.
If I told him, would he like it? Would he like it if I told him? Would he like it? Would Napoleon? Would Napoleon? Would he like it? If Napoleon, if I told him, if Napoleon, would he like it if I told him, if Napoleon?
Throwing a lot of stuff at a poem can work, but sometimes it's a simple idea that can bring out the humour and meaning behind a poem best. Here's one continuous piece of found footage, very slightly sped up, with the Stein poem.
If I told him, would he like it? Would he like it if I told him? Would he like it? Would Napoleon? Would he like it? If Napoleon, if I told him, if Napoleon, would he like it if I told him, if Napoleon? Would he like it if Napoleon, if I told him?
You shouldn't feel afraid to experiment. Try still images, moving, found, staged. Play with the effects, speed things up or slow them down. Keep working away until you feel the visual part of your film poem not only fits the poem well, but is interesting in its own right. In the next film, we'll be looking at sound and ways to finish off your film poem. See you then.